Welcome to November. My favorite 3 movies, alphanumerical version. I wanted to do my top 25, but I was finding it very difficult. I kind of know what my top 3 or 4 are, but beyond that, it was a little difficult. So I wanted to make this video where I'm going to go numbers, alphabet, A through Z, pick my 3 favorite titles from each one of those, and show them to you, share them with you. There will not be any Asian titles in this video throughout the whole month. I've already done a top 25 of my favorite Asian videos. I'll link that down below. Check it out. Stay tuned. Let's get into this and do an alphanumerical November. Alphanumerical November is back, and we are in B's. That was funny. So we're moving on. Another day, another letter. We're moving on to B's. B is one of those letters that was very, very hard. But I think I nailed the 3. I know the first one is definitely in here. The other 2, probably the third one was the hardest to squeeze in here because there was a lot of other B's competing with it. But we're going to go ahead and get started. 2001. I love war movies. The more realistic, the better. If they're based on something, I love it even more. I remember growing up, I remember when this operation happened. I remember everything that, a pilot was captured and what happened those following, I think it was like 60 some odd, 70 some odd days afterwards. I've read the book by the pilot. It was very interesting. I learned a lot about what happened when he was captured and just the whole events of this. Star-studded cast in this movie, but Black Hawk Down, about the it's not an invasion of Mogadishu, but it was a basically they were going to go in and capture these warlords to try to end something, and all hell broke loose and the whole city came after them. A bunch of people died. Like I said, Robert Durant, he got captured when his Black Hawk went down. 3 Black Hawks actually went down, if I remember correctly. Lost a lot of military people in this. It was bad all around. But this movie does a really good job of explaining what happened, what went wrong. Fight scenes in this thing are amazing. The acting in here is awesome. Tom Sizemore's character is probably one of my favorite ones in here, but you get everybody in this. But Black Hawk Down, that's starting us off with Alphanumerical November, B's. Next, 1998. I said 30 Days of Night was my favorite vampire movie. This is also a vampire movie, but it's a comic book vampire movie, and it's my favorite comic book movie. So I'm differentiating in that sense of the two. But when this came out, it revolutionized comic book movies. We had some stuff before this, but this kind of laid the groundwork for what could be and what actually became of comic book movies later. But we're talking about Blade, Wesley Snipes. I remember hearing about this coming out. I went to the movie theater. Me and a couple buddies went, and we were just blown away. The opening scene where the dance scene where the vampire's bringing the man downstairs in the meat factory, and you kind of see some bodies in the background. You're like, ooh, this is kind of scary. And then all hell breaks loose, and then Blade shows up, and Wesley Snipes embodies Blade. We seen him redo the role in Deadpool 3, Deadpool Wolverine, still killed it. People love this character. I can't wait to see what they maybe hopefully do with it in the future, but nobody can beat probably the hands down best comic book adaptation movie, Blade. That's number 2. Number 1 will always be in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It's definitely going to be my number 1. B is my favorite Martin Scorsese movie. And we're like, what? Yeah, this beats out Goodfellas. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Goodfellas made the list, even though it's a great movie. But I connect to this movie. I was in the medical field for 15 years. For quite a few years, I worked the ambulance service. And this movie, every time I watch it, just brings back a flood of memories, good times, bad times, things that I've seen. But we were talking about none other, Nicolas Cage, Bringing Out the Dead. This has got Ving Rhames, Tom Sizemore again is in here, John Goodman's in here. quite a few people. But it's basically Arquette. I forget what her name is. Yeah, Arquette. Anyway, this is about New York paramedics working the gritty nighttime job of being an ambulance driver, being an EMT and a paramedic in New York City. The things they go through, the things they see every time. This movie gets me. It's a flood of things. But for B, for Alphanumerical November, my number one, Bringing Out the Dead. Stay tuned for some more picks.